Alright guys, the moment that I have been waiting for so long, it's finally here. This studio, the one that I have behind me, the one that I have been using for the past 2 years I believe, we're finally moving away from it. We're moving to a new building and I have prepared a new dedicated setup. It's still work in progress and I still have a lot of things to buy and arrange over there. But what I do know is that probably this is the last video that I will be doing in this current setup. And that's why I wanted to do a more personal video where I show you for one last time what I'm still using. It may not be perfect, but it's perfect for me. I enjoy it so much and that's why I still have it. So that being said, let's just go to this setup and we'll go one by one for each accessories and devices. So at the core of this setup, it's of course my editing device, mostly my everything device, and I am talking about the M1 MacBook Pro 14-inch. It's a laptop that I got, I believe, last year. It still works great, at least for what I'm doing in this setup with the video editing that I'm doing for this channel. It's more than enough for me. It's pretty much perfect for everything that I want to do, especially for this channel and not only. But as you can see, the MacBook is sitting on a stand and this is the JSOX one. I'll put the name right over here on the screen because I don't remember it. But this has been part of my setup for the past 8 or 9 months. It has been great because the screen is mostly the same level as my main monitor. I use this stand for both work for this channel but also for my day-to-day office job. It's a really robust, made out of aluminum. It also has a magnet right on the bottom where you can attach some other devices. It's really sturdy, really good build quality, and I can highly recommend using this one. Then as you can see, I do have an USB-C port plugged into my MacBook, and that's because this ultra-wide LG monitor, it's a QHD one. It's not really a fancy monitor, it's not a gaming monitor, it's not even 4K, but I love using this one. It's ultra wide, it's perfect for editing, and I'm even doing some casual gaming on it, especially with the AOG Ally when docked. If I do want to play some games from my AOG Ally or some other consoles, then I will use my LG OLED monitor. But for this setup, it has been great. I don't think I will upgrade anytime soon, and if I do, I will go ahead with an OLED monitor as well. But as of now, this is perfect, and especially having the USB-C port that will actually charge my M1 MacBook Pro. And actually it even has an integrated dock inside it, so it has been working pretty great for me. On the side of the monitor, right behind my MacBook, I usually keep my Xbox Series S. It's the only Xbox current gen that I own right now. And because I'm a PlayStation 5 first type of gamer, I still want to have an Xbox as well. And being my secondary console, I do believe that the Series S is more than enough. This console is actually pretty amazing and it's pretty cheap. And I have been recommending this one to a lot of parents, especially bundling it with the Game Pass is perfect for a kid. And even though I'm a PlayStation gamer, I can still recommend this console. And it has been sitting right here on my desk. As you can see on top, I have a stand for the controller itself, but I also have this case over here, which is the Elite Series 2 Pro controller for Xbox. I bought this a couple of months back in Japan for really cheap, and this controller is actually pretty amazing. I am using it both with the Xbox but also with the AOG Ally. It's pretty customizable, even though I don't really use all the buttons. It's really not for me. I now understand the hype for these Pro controllers, and it got me wondering if I should actually buy the Elite Pro controller from PlayStation. But a really nice controller, especially since I got it for cheap, and this has been part of my setup ever since. Over here I do have a couple of props, just some items that I really enjoy. First of all, we have this Pikachu 25 anniversary. I just wanted a PSA 10 card from Japan and I went with this fat Pikachu because it resonates with the original card, and then I love having it right here besides my monitor. I also have this baseball which I bought a couple of years when I was in New York. It's also a nice souvenir that it's close to my heart. I love having this one, and it's actually working like a stress ball. Whenever I'm working, I'm always playing with this baseball. So just a fun little item. It's not tech, but I really like having it on my desk and using it from time to time. Besides the JSOX stand and my MacBook, I also have these fine, I don't even know how to pronounce that. I do believe these are called the H9 gaming headset. This has been part of my setup for a couple of months now. These are some pretty cheap headphones, but they are really useful. You can use them with so many devices, starting off with PCs, Macs, so your computers in general, but also it's a gaming headset with my Xbox, but also my PS5. And what I like about it is that it also has a headphone jack. You can plug them in with a headphone jack, but also an USB, so depending on the device. And it does have this integrated sound card, as you can see over here, which does allow you to enable the 7.1 surround sound. And especially for this price, this really surprised me, especially for the sound quality. I didn't expect for this price to have such a good sound quality. Again, it's not necessarily the most premium one, especially the build quality. They do feel a bit cheap, but I did stress test this quite a lot and threw them in my backpack whenever I could. So they still look pretty great, even though at first I thought that the materials are not good. As you can see, they still look great, and I'm still not worried that I will break them. And especially for this price, I cannot go wrong. And for now, I'll actually continue on using them. Oh, it also has a removable microphone, so again, a nice touch. Now, moving on, before we go on the right side, as you can see right beneath my monitor, I do have some Amiibos, and these are all Pokemon because I like these ones. I am a big fan of Charizard and Pikachu, but I also got Squirtle and Ivysaur. I like having all these 4 Pokemons right here under my monitor, but I also added this small Naruto figurine right in the center. This was bought from Naruto Village in Fuji Q. Now, right beneath the monitor, I also have this small IKEA shelf. This is just to have some small items inside. And even though it's small, I managed to put quite a lot right here. I have some microfiber cloth. I do have all my SSDs that I'm mostly using for editing videos for this channel. I have my Apple trackpad. I can't really edit without the trackpad anymore. Then I also have a couple of props. I have this Zelda gold coin, but also some Mario figurines. Just some small prop items that I have been using right here on the channel. And I also have a Charmander graded card, and actually this was my first Pokemon card that I ever owned. I just got into this game last year, and now I can't stop. I just recently managed to complete a master set for 151. I don't know if you're familiar with that collection, but at some point I do want to make a video about my collecting habit. Now, if you look even lower, right beneath this shelf, as you can see, I do have a mouse and keyboard. Well, these, even though I do have these Logitech peripherals in the middle of my desk, these are my day-to-day, mostly work peripherals that I use. But whenever I am using the AOG Ally, even though I can use these ones with it, I did want to get some more gaming devices, and I have this Akiris, something like that. It's a pretty cheap mechanical gaming keyboard. It has RGB. For now, especially since I use this with the AOG Ally, it's more than enough. But I also have this Gavastar M1 Pro mouse that I have featured a while back. And I gotta say that I love this mouse. It's really light. I like the design of it. And I have recommended this in the past, and a bunch of you guys have come back and said that they got this mouse because I recommended it and they love it. And of course, then I have the MX Keys Mini Logitech keyboard and the MX Master 3S mouse. I love using Logitech peripherals. These ones have been part of my setup for a while now. Then moving over to the right, we have my AOG Ally setup. As you can see, this hasn't changed too much. This is the usual spot for the AOG Ally. I still have the original one, the AOG Ally X. Actually just arrived and I need to pick it up right after I shoot this video. The delay was amazing. I didn't expect to not have it in my hands at this moment. I will make a quick video about it before I do my full review. But for now, I'm still using the OG AOG Ally with the JSOX transparent backplate, and currently I am using the BenQ GR10 dock. This is actually a fairly new dock that BenQ sent over. This is not a sponsored video, but I have tested this dock for a while now, and I gotta say, currently it's one of my favorite ones. It's really light. You can use it both for handheld consoles like the AOG Ally or Steam Deck, but you can also use it as a standalone dock. This is a two-in-one, let's say, device, because when you don't need the proper stand for the AOG Ally, then you can just close it, and there you go, you have a really small USB-C dock. Compared to other docks, it doesn't really have plenty of ports, but it does have the standard ones, so this will fit for most of you. It has two USB 8 10 gigabit ports, which I usually use for peripherals either way. Then we have a 2.5 gigabit LAN Ethernet port. It has an HDMI 2.1 out port, which can either give you 4K 120 Hz, but also 8K 60 Hz. And it even has on the side another USB-C port. This is 10 gigabit one, and I have been using this to connect some other devices to my AOG Ally. And actually, one of my main ones that I have been using with the AOG Ally through this dock is the GB operator from Epilogue. This is a small device that allows you to play your original Game Boy and Game Boy Advance cartridges on a PC or a Mac, so also the AOG Ally, of course. So it's a fun little device that I still have to this day right here on my desk setup. One of my last pieces for this setup, it's my iPad, which I still adore and use quite often. Sometimes maybe even more than my MacBook. Whenever I'm not doing any work-related activities, then I will not really use my MacBook. I still prefer using the iPad. I'm not doing video editing so much nowadays, but this channel actually started for the first year or so with editing everything on an iPad using LumaFusion, so without it, this channel would not exist. And I still love using the iPad, and I do have this Pitaka stand over here. Bundling it with this magnetic case, you can use your iPad as a monitor, and I have been doing that quite often. This dock will charge your iPad. It also has a wireless charger on the bottom, and currently I am charging, as you can see, my AirPods Pro 2. So I love this setup with my iPad. It always sits right here on my desk, and maybe some quick items right here on the right. Maybe you have seen this in my other videos. These are just some generic stands that I use for both things. One has MagSafe, and I'm using it to shoot with my iPhone 15 Pro. Whenever I'm doing those top-down shots, this is how I do it. I put my iPhone on the top, and I'm using that device to film everything. And I also have this extra stand over here that usually goes with a microphone. I have featured a bunch of different ones, but now it's empty just because I started to pack everything up. And most recently, I haven't used any external microphones. I have been using these lavalier ones, as you can see right over here, and this is the DJI Microphone 1, the first edition, and it's way easier to use it in this way, so that's why I don't really have an external monitor anymore. So there you go, guys. I think that's mostly it. I do still have a couple of things that I switch from time to time, but this current setup has been going on for the past month or two. I don't think I changed too much about it. This is what I've been working with. It may not be much. This room is pretty cramped. As you can see, I have a bed right beside my desk setup. So it wasn't the ideal solution, but I'm still thankful for everything that I was able to do for this channel. But I gotta say, I'm pretty excited to have more room, more space, and have a dedicated setup that I can use for these videos. I do believe that the quality will improve in time, especially in the new setup. So I cannot wait to build this setup together with you. I am planning on doing a video about it pretty soon. And actually, because I did mention that AOG Ally X just came a couple of hours ago, tell you what, I'll actually do an unboxing for that console in my new setup, even though it's not quite ready yet. But we'll go ahead over there right after I finish shooting this video, and we'll make a quick unboxing of the AOG Ally X. So yeah, that's about it. The first true Tech Unravel studio, it's closing down. I will miss this setup, especially for all the memories that we had over here, but that's the fun part of having a YouTube channel. I can still look at everything, at the history that we've done so far. So yeah, time for new and better things, time to move on, and I can't wait to see where this takes us together. We are stopping with this setup at almost 8,500 subscribers, and I cannot wait to see where in a year or two we will be, especially in the new studio. Time will tell, but until then, for the last time from this setup, this is Silviu, this is the Tech Unravel, and I will see you in the new studio.